I want to start our introduction to poetry with, appropriately enough, a poem. This is titled We're Building the Ship as We Sail It, and it was written by one of my favorite contemporary poets, Kay Ryan. Ryan is the former Poet Laureate of the United States and the winner of the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry, as well as the MacArthur Fellowship, the so-called Genius Grant. We're building the ship as we sail it. The first fear being drowning, the ship's first shape was a raft, which was hard to unflatten after that didn't happen. It's awkward to have to do one's planning in extremis in the early years, so hard to hide later, slickening the hull, making things more gracious. Although I have not won any of the honors that Ryan has, I've always felt like I could relate to her in one way. She has chosen to spend her entire teaching career at a community college in California. With that in mind, I have tended to interpret We're Building the Ship as We Sail It as a poem about the panicked planning of a class in the early years of a teaching career. I want to acknowledge that I have had to plan our introduction to poetry for this semester, in Ryan's words, in extremis. And I know that many of you are attempting to learn these lessons in extremely difficult circumstances as well. But hopefully, spending a little of our time for these last few weeks of the semester thinking about creative writing can be a raft for us, one that prevents us from drowning emotionally. Of the 4 genres of creative writing that we have explored this semester in English 240, I have spent the least amount of time in my own writing career on poetry. I have spent much more time writing drama, fiction, and nonfiction. However, during these last few weeks, I have written more than one poem as a way to process my experiences during this pandemic. Although this is still very much a raft of a first draft, because I haven't yet had time for slickening the hull or making things more gracious, I want to share this poem with you. Because I'm asking you to share your pandemic experiences in the form of a poem in our first discussion for this module, I feel like it's only fair to make myself vulnerable in the same way. The tentative title for my poem is We Asked Her for the World. We asked her for the world, our new neighbor, from 6 feet away. After we rang her doorbell, we climbed back down her stairs to maintain social distancing. We asked her for the world, which is what our son called his foam ball with the globe printed on it. He had thrown it over our fence into her backyard. We asked her for the world, and normally she wouldn't have even thought about it, but now she had to. But then she brought it back, offered it in her gloved hands, and we accepted it in our own gloved hands, and we thanked her with our masked mouths. We asked her for the world, and afterward we sanitized the troubling globe with one of our last Clorox wipes.